Welcome back to another episode of the Miami Heat Roundtable. I'm your host, Amir. I'm joined today by Martel. You can find him at the Miami Heat Zone podcast. And we have Trent. You can find him at the Miami Heat Network. And we have another special guest joining the program today. We have Wes Goldberg, the host of Locked On Heat. Thanks for joining us today, Wes.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. It's our pleasure. So, Wes, we have two important extensions looming in the next month. One of them is internal, obviously, with Jimmy Butler. The other is external with Donovan Mitchell. These two events will most likely dictate the direction that the Miami Heat will go this offseason. Some signs are indicating that Donovan Mitchell may sign his $200 million extension this summer and stay with the Cavs. And if that's the case, Wes, what do you think Miami's plan B should be this offseason? Like, what are some realistic, ideal trades that you think the Miami Heat should explore to help us compete in the East against the Celtics and whoever comes out of the West next year?
It's almost two different questions, isn't it? It's what can they do to improve the team, and could that improvement actually help them compete with the Celtics, with a reloaded 76ers team, with a healthier, better version of this Milwaukee Bucks team? And I don't know that if they don't get Donovan Mitchell, that is out there. I just don't know that option is out there. We could talk about Trae Young scenarios, whoever else it might be, but first of all, I have my doubts that Atlanta would ever trade Trae Young into the division, and that's just beyond before you even get to the point of whether or not Trae Young is that guy who could put them over the top, right? So there's a lot of different layers to that, and I just don't know what star is going to get moved that the Heat could realistically get. Paul George is not an option for them, right? He's going to either be a free agent or he's going to opt in. And if he's a free agent, the Heat don't have the cap space to sign him, and they can't negotiate a sign and trade because of how close they are to the second apron. So it's not an option. LeBron's not going. He's not leaving LA. Like let's forget about that pipe dream. And beyond that, I just don't really see it. I don't know who the player is. Like even if Minnesota, we're recording this Tuesday afternoon, a couple hours before the game 4 of Mavs Timberwolves. And if they do lose and Karl-Anthony Towns has another bad game and Minnesota decides to move on, all right, cool. Is Cat the guy that takes the Heat over the top? It doesn't really feel like it, right? Like the guy that just consistently comes up short in playoff moments. So to answer your question, I don't really know that option is there if Donovan Mitchell isn't that guy. The best you can hope for at that point is you get a better Jimmy Butler next year, that you get something done with the extension, you get a healthier, better version of Jimmy Butler in the regular season. You still get Bam Adebayo. You've got guys walking away potentially in Caleb Martin and Haywood Highsmith. Can you replace them with free agents or in the draft or however it might be? Can you find a way to maybe bring one of them back, perhaps? And you just hope for overall better health and for another run that's probably closer to the run that they had in 2023, and not so much being the number 1 seed the way they were in 2022, right? And that's probably where you're at.
Yep.